Pluto, hidden in the dark corners of our solar system and the depths of space, which was once the 9th planet of our solar system. It had secured a place in the imaginations of people and scientists alike. Since its discovery in 1930, Pluto remained a mystery to us. But in 2015, the New Horizons spacecraft made a historic flyby, and then we received some remarkable images of Pluto. Scientists were amazed because there were far more mysterious things happening on Pluto than we had expected. New Horizons revealed Pluto's dynamic and complex nature. It presented us with a view of a world where we could see huge glaciers, tall mountains, and a faint and hazy atmosphere. But as we studied Pluto, a very strange question emerged. Is there life hidden somewhere in Pluto's icy world? At first glance, Pluto doesn't seem like it's made for life at all. It's extremely cold, with temperatures dropping to around -225 degrees Celsius. It's very far from the sun, where even very little sunlight reaches. Despite such harsh conditions, some recent discoveries have astonished scientists. These discoveries suggest that the ingredients necessary for life exist on Pluto, but they are buried beneath Pluto's frozen surface. Today, we are going to explore the possibilities of hidden life on Pluto. We will examine the conditions on that planet, as well as look at some surprising discoveries by New Horizons, which indicate the possibility of life in Pluto's extreme environment. The question is quite significant. Despite such harsh conditions, could Pluto still be harboring life? Pluto's conditions. To understand the possibility of life on Pluto, we first need to understand the conditions present on this dwarf planet. A region in the Kuiper Belt, which is far beyond Neptune, the last planet of our solar system. This region is filled with icy bodies. It is believed that these bodies are remnants of our early solar system. Pluto is also a part of these icy bodies in this region. This is an extremely cold and frozen world. Its surface is mainly made of nitrogen ice with traces of methane, carbon monoxide, and water ice mixed in. The surface temperature of Pluto is counted among the lowest temperatures in the solar system, where the average temperature remains -225 degrees Celsius. Such extreme temperatures mean that if there is any water on Pluto, it would be completely frozen solid. The kind of life we know cannot survive in such harsh conditions. However, recent discoveries suggest that Pluto may not be as harsh for life as it appears. Scientists have seen some rays of hope here. The most remarkable discovery made by NASA's New Horizons mission is the possible presence of subsurface oceans beneath Pluto's surface. The discovery of this hidden ocean came to light after observing a surface feature on Pluto. Sputnik Planitia, a large heart-shaped region on Pluto, is believed to be an area made up of nitrogen and methane ice. This area does not appear completely smooth. This plain area is believed to have been geologically active in its recent past. That can explain all of that. For example, the lines and cracks seen on Pluto's surface are formed due to the expansion of oceans beneath its surface. When water freezes, it expands due to changes in its internal structure. And the same effect has been observed on Pluto's surface as well. New Horizons also detected ammonia on Pluto's surface, which further strengthens our belief in the existence of oceans of water beneath Pluto's surface. Because ammonia acts like an anti-freezing agent, which lowers the freezing point of water significantly, making it an ideal place for life, as water doesn't freeze even when the temperature goes below zero. But if extreme subsurface oceans exist on Pluto, like hydrothermal vents in deep oceans, then they could be ideal places for reactions necessary for life. Life could possibly develop there. Such conditions could also exist on Pluto, where life could be hidden beneath its icy surface. As far as we have understood Pluto, there is no end to the possibilities here. evidence of geological activity. Another astonishing discovery from the New Horizons mission was evidence of ongoing geological activities on Pluto. Before the flyby, scientists thought that Pluto was a cold and dead world where there would be no geological activity, but what they saw was a landscape that was completely different from their expectations. On Pluto's surface, you can see many different types of terrains. There are some very large plain areas, some big peaks and mountains, and in some places there are deep valleys. But a very large heart-shaped region, Sputnik Planitia, was found to be the most unusual. This region is a very large icy plain, mostly made of nitrogen ice, and its surface appears to have formed recently. Only a few impact craters are seen on Pluto here. This indicates that the surface of Sputnik Planitia has been resurfacing repeatedly. It is possible that this is happening because of convection currents in the subsurface ocean beneath that icy surface. Several other pieces of evidence related to geological activity on Pluto have also been found in Pluto's mountains, which are primarily made of water ice. These mountains are up to 350 meters tall. The existence of such tall and large mountains means that Pluto's crust is made of strong and stable water ice, which is capable of supporting such massive structures. Mountains made of water ice and plains of nitrogen ice on Pluto indicate a complex and active geology. But one question that was troubling scientists was, what exactly is driving these activities on Pluto? The thermal energy generated by radioactive decay in Pluto's core was considered as one possible explanation. When radioactive elements break down, they release heat. This heat is so intense that it can drive subsurface oceans and geological activities on Pluto's surface. Another strange possibility is cryovolcanism, or in other words, ice volcanoes. On Pluto, molten rock or lava does not erupt like traditional volcanoes. Instead, the volcanoes here erupt substances like water, ammonia, and methane. New Horizons observed very large dome-like structures on Pluto's surface, which could possibly be cryovolcanoes, and if that's the case, they may indicate a subsurface ocean on Pluto. The presence of an ocean suggests that liquid water and some chemicals are reaching the surface from beneath, which would be a major piece of evidence. And secondly, it confirms the presence of liquid water beneath the surface. The discovery of active geology on Pluto further increases the possibility of life on this planet. Even on Earth, geological activities play a major role in supporting life if similar activities, the discovery of oceans and geological activities are found, it also raises many questions. To answer whether life can exist in such extreme environments, we need to know what the conditions for life are like on Earth in such extreme environments. Our planet Earth is a place where life can be found even in very extreme and inhospitable places. For example, deep-sea hydrothermal vents are the foundation of an entire ecosystem where organisms support themselves not with sunlight but with the energy released from the Earth's core. These organisms generate energy from chemical energy, which also serves as a source of food for them. Similarly, life has also been discovered beneath the icy peaks of Antarctica. Traces of life have also been found in acidic hot springs and even in rocks found deep underground. These extremophiles are organisms that are able to survive even in extreme conditions. That's why life on Earth is found almost everywhere. If life can be found in such extreme environments on Earth, then it's not hard to believe that traces of similar life could also exist on Pluto. If there really is a subsurface ocean on Pluto, then it could be an excellent environment for life to thrive there. Although this ocean would be extremely cold and filled with darkness, life will still find a way to adapt to such an environment. Just like Earth's extremophiles, they would also rely on chemical reactions for energy. Apart from this, the ammonia and complex molecules found on Pluto indicate that the building block elements of life are also present on Pluto. On Earth, ammonia plays an important role in the formation of amino acids, which make proteins and are the foundation of life. On Earth, ammonia, if similar chemical processes are happening on Pluto, then life like that on Earth could also be seen on Pluto. But the thing to note is that the conditions on Pluto are definitely suitable to support life. However, we have not found any signs of life on Pluto so far. We will have to explore subsurface oceans and geological activities further. Future missions and exploration. The discoveries made by the New Horizons mission about Pluto were truly astonishing. This mission has further enhanced our understanding of Pluto, and there are some new questions about the possibility of life on this distant world, which means we will have to send missions to Pluto in the future. There is already an existing proposal to study Pluto, which involves sending an orbiter and a lander to Pluto. With the orbiter, Pluto can be studied in even greater detail. Its atmosphere can be analyzed, surface mapping can be done, and the science of geological activities will be explored. On the other hand, the lander will provide direct measurements of Pluto's surface and subsurface, which will help indicate the presence of subsurface oceans and the possibility of life there. Another potential mission could involve sending a probe into Pluto's atmosphere to study its surface and atmosphere. Advanced instruments will be used to determine the composition of Pluto's atmosphere and surface. After this, organic molecules in such compounds or compounds that indicate life can be detected. Apart from missions sent for direct exploration, in the future, more focus will be given to the Kuiper Belt, searching for signs of life on the outer edges. The Kuiper Belt is filled with many more dwarf planets like Pluto. If we find any signs of life anywhere in the Kuiper Belt or on Pluto, then Pluto becomes an easy target in the search for life. That's why we definitely need to learn more about Pluto in the coming decades, because what we know about it today is still very limited. Every day, scientists are continuously learning something new about this mysterious planet. Our journey to understand Pluto has gone from this pixelated image to some high-definition images. We have been able to learn much better about its atmosphere, its geographic features, its moon system, and some of the activities happening on it. But even today, many mysteries remain buried on this small planet with a diameter of just about 2,500 kilometers. We definitely need to think about these. But even after knowing so much, there are still some misconceptions related to Pluto that people have in their minds. They are not correct at all. There are some questions for which people do have answers, but with changing times, those answers have either become outdated or are completely wrong. For example, was Pluto named after a Disney character? Was Pluto ever a moon of Neptune? Or is Pluto an icy world? There are many such questions that revolve around Pluto, so let's begin our journey today. We'll go around Pluto and learn about some myths related to Pluto that you might also believe in. Myth number 1. Pluto was first the name of a Disney character. If you look at the chronology of these Disney characters, this myth ends right there. Pluto was discovered in 1930, and although the famous Disney dog also debuted in 1930, the dog's name was originally Rover. There was also a character named Pluto the Pup, but even that wasn't broadcast until 1931. Most people were saying that the girl who... But now this is proven. The girl, the name of this planet, Pluto, was not taken from Pluto the dog, but now it is proven that the dog's name was actually inspired by the planet Pluto. Let me tell you, this has been revealed. Myth number 2. Pluto is tiny even today. Many people think that since Pluto is a dwarf planet, it must be very small, like an asteroid. But let me tell you, Pluto has a diameter of 2,360 kilometers, which is about 2/3 the size of our moon. And it can even be compared to Jupiter's ocean-world moon, Europa. Not only that, Pluto's largest moon, Charon, is about half its size. Charon's diameter is 1,207 kilometers, while Pluto's diameter is 2,306 kilometers. That's why these two are sometimes called binaries. Scientists believe that Pluto is the largest object in the Kuiper belt, meaning that after Neptune's orbit, Pluto is the biggest object. Comets make up the majority in the Kuiper belt, and they are usually only a few kilometers in size. Some comets can even be hundreds of kilometers large. But Pluto is different from the other dwarfs. When seen from Pluto, our sun looks just like an ordinary star, but a bit brighter, and that's why. Some people believe that Pluto's surface is always covered with pitch black clouds for 24 hours and it's always completely dark, but that's not true. During the day, it's not as dark on Pluto as people think. It's more like how it is on Earth when there are dark clouds. Or it's like the darkness you see on Earth just before the sun sets. That's the kind of darkness you find on Pluto too. This means that if a person goes there, he will definitely be able to see everything. But in some cases, we might need lighting there. This was myth number. Pluto is not a Kuiper belt object because Pluto is perfectly round, while Kuiper belt objects are not that round. Its structure looks like one of the planets in our inner solar system. And this was the reason why people were confused. Pluto is a moon of Neptune, and for some reason it got separated from Neptune. But later, when these two bodies were studied using the concept of orbital resonance, it was found that these two bodies were never that close to each other, which completely eliminates the possibility that Pluto was ever a moon of Neptune. Myth number 5. Pluto is an icy world. High-resolution images of Pluto have been taken by modern telescopes and the New Horizons spacecraft, in which we could clearly see that Pluto is completely covered in ice. And this ice is not made of just water. It is made of frozen nitrogen, frozen methane, and so on. If we look at Pluto's density, we find that its density is almost double that of water ice. The conclusion drawn from this is that 2/3 of it is made up of rocks and 1/3 is made up of ice. So, it would be more accurate to say that Pluto is a rocky body, with only its surface covered by ice. In 1980, scientists discovered an atmosphere on Pluto, and they found that Pluto's atmosphere is mostly made up of nitrogen, just like it is on our Earth. Pluto's atmosphere contains a large amount of carbon monoxide and methane. However, even then, if compared to Earth, Pluto's atmosphere is very thin and, in space, it extends much farther than Earth's atmosphere. For example, Earth's atmosphere extends up to about 600 kilometers, which is roughly 10% of Earth's radius. On the other hand, if we talk about Pluto, its atmosphere extends up to 7 Pluto radii. That means the volume of Pluto's atmosphere is about 350 times greater than Pluto's own volume. And that's why it can't be said at all that there's no air on Pluto. There is definitely air on Pluto. But whenever Pluto goes very far from the sun in its orbit, all the gases in its atmosphere freeze because of the cold. And then there is a lack of air there. But when Pluto comes closer to the sun, the ice melts and the amount of air and gases in the atmosphere increases. So this is how Pluto's atmosphere works. Myth number 7. Is Pluto's orbit one of a kind? Pluto's orbit around the Sun is not perfectly circular, but rather elliptical. It comes as close as 4.43 billion kilometers to the Sun, and at its farthest point, it is 7.36 billion kilometers away from the Sun. Along with this, Pluto's orbit is tilted at an angle of 17 degrees to the ecliptic plane of our solar system. And compared to the orbits of the other planets, Pluto's orbit is quite different. Along with this, Pluto's orbit crosses Neptune's orbit. Because of this, for about 20 years, it stays closer to the Sun than Neptune. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union unanimously removed Pluto from the official list of planets and included it in the category of dwarf planets. But if we look at Kuiper belt objects, then other dwarf planets like Eris and Haumea have orbits that are even more elliptical and inclined than Pluto's. So Pluto neither exhibits the characteristics of extreme Kuiper belt objects nor those of our official planets. So friends, these were some myths that are quite popular among people, but the truth is very different from them. There are many more mysteries of Pluto that amaze us. Our solar system holds countless secrets buried within it. Pluto is a part of that same Kuiper belt, a planet. Today, we may know it as a dwarf planet, but at one time, it was counted among the main planets of our solar system. Scientists were surprised that rocky planets are present in our inner solar system, while gas planets are in the outer solar system. These planets are orbiting the Sun. So then, how did an icy and rocky planet suddenly appear after Neptune? Besides this, the activity happening on Pluto was surprising the entire scientific community. Everyone wanted to know what exactly was happening on Pluto that was making it so mysterious. It became important for NASA to study Pluto as well, because Pluto played a crucial role in the formation process of our solar system. It was a link between our solar system and the dark world beyond it. By understanding it, we could uncover many mysteries of the solar system and how Pluto hides so many secrets within itself. Clyde Tombaugh, the person who, on February 18, 1930, was able to unveil them. And that's why NASA planned the New Horizons mission to Pluto, which performed a flyby near Pluto on July 14, 2015. And the data we received from this mission was not easy for everyone to digest. It was surprising how such a small planet, so far from the Sun, could hide so many secrets within itself. Clyde Tombaugh was the person who discovered Pluto on February 18, 1930, and with this discovery, a series of mysteries also began. For the next 58 years or so, Pluto, its atmosphere, and the activities happening there remained mysteries for us humans and scientists alike. But then, in 1988, something special happened after a long wait. It was. Stellar occultation is a phenomenon. When any planet or body passes in front of a bright star, the gradual dimming of that star's light can reveal information about the atmosphere, the planet's size, rings, and much more. People had been speculating about it for decades. If Pluto didn't have an atmosphere, the light coming from the star would have been suddenly blocked when Pluto passed in front of it. But when this occultation happened, the starlight gradually dimmed. Because of the starlight, Pluto's atmosphere was almost glowing. As the atmosphere's density increased from space down to Pluto's surface, it gradually dimmed and blocked the starlight. Scientists analyzed the collected data and other patterns, studied them, and discovered the layers of Pluto's atmosphere. They also found out about the presence of gases like nitrogen, methane, carbon monoxide, and others. The elements that cover the surface of this planet. When astronomers graphed the light data, another conclusion emerged. The light did not penetrate Pluto's atmosphere all the way to the surface, which indicated the presence of clouds, fog, and other phenomena that were blocking the starlight. Besides this, astronomers noticed certain symmetries in the light curve, which confirmed that this dimming was indeed due to the atmosphere. In this way, we found out that Pluto also has an atmosphere made up of gases. Now, astronomers wanted to learn about the temperature changes in Pluto's atmosphere that occurred during its 248-year orbital period. Let me tell you, Pluto takes as much time to complete one orbit around the Sun as 248 Earth years. Its orbit is highly elliptical, so much so that when it is at perihelion, meaning its closest point to the Sun, and it stays at a distance of 30 astronomical units from the Sun. Let me tell you, 1 astronomical unit is the distance between our Earth and the Sun. It becomes about 50 astronomical units, meaning the distance between the Sun and our Earth, which means about 50 times, but in its orbit, there's a difference between its closest and farthest distances. This difference of 20 astronomical units gives rise to interesting chemistry in Pluto's atmosphere and on its surface. When it comes close to the Sun, we know that Pluto is a rocky body, but due to the ice on top, the temperature of its surface rises to minus 220 degrees Celsius. Celsius, and that's the reason. The ice frozen on its surface sublimates and enters its atmosphere. Sublimation is a process in which anything in solid form changes directly without turning into liquid form, directly turns into gas. Earlier, astronomers believed that when something turns directly into gas, the nitrogen ice frozen on Pluto would, with rising temperature, directly become molecular nitrogen. Its atmosphere would freeze, and when the temperature drops below -240 degrees Celsius, all the gas would freeze, and in this way, one day, Pluto's atmosphere would collapse. But observations forced scientists to rethink because of its orbit around the Sun, and these observations made it possible. The results were saying that another interesting fact about its atmosphere is that it evolves quickly. Researchers claim that the density of carbon monoxide in Pluto's atmosphere has increased rapidly over the past few decades, but it was also found that solar winds carry away that carbon monoxide with them. The turbulence of more than 300 kilometers on this planet extends all the way up, and the solar winds carry those molecules away with them. The research found that a lot of turbulence is still being observed on Pluto. This means that Pluto is still active, Pluto is still alive. Professor Renu Malhotra at the Molecular and Planetary Laboratory and Associate Professor Takashi Ito at the Cuban Institute of Technology, Professor at the Lunar and Planetary Laboratory. According to the research, Pluto's orbit is fundamentally different from the orbits of those planets that revolve around the Sun in a circular rotation. The Sun is near and outside the equator of its orbit, which makes its orbit slightly elliptical, which we also call an eccentric orbit, and this orbit intersects with the orbits of other planets. This orbit is very long. When it is near Neptune, it can be seen going in this orbit. Like Uranus and Venus, Pluto rotates in the opposite direction, because of which the Sun rises in the west here and sets in the east. And we see a similar sight on Venus and Uranus as well. But our planet rotates in the normal direction, because of which the Sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But that's not the case on Pluto. Let me tell you, Pluto takes many more years to orbit the Sun. 1 year on Pluto is equal to our 248 years. And the special thing is, this is what makes it different from other planets. Let me tell you, there is a heart-shaped formation on Pluto's surface, which is also called Pluto's heart, and its length is about 1,000 kilometers. Along with that, Pluto's heart is located on the brightest part of Pluto, which makes this area clearly visible. Friends, there are many more mysteries like this hidden on Pluto, which scientists are continuously trying to discover. This planet, orbiting in the pitch darkness of space billions of miles away from the Sun, still raises many questions for us. It is said that in the year 1612, Galileo Galilei also saw Neptune. We find a lot of evidence of his observations, but he thought it was just a star, and so he never noticed Neptune again. For almost 200 years after that, no one knew about it, nor did anyone study Neptune. No one even noticed the need to search for it, and as a result, no one even tried. After this, in 1821, it was suggested that a large planet exists beyond this point. In fact, in his calculations, Bouvard had almost discovered Neptune, but it still hadn't been observed in reality. In 1843, John Couch Adams was also studying the orbit of Uranus, and by 1846, his calculations were also pointing towards a new planet. Apart from this, another scientist, Urbain Le Verrier, was also independently doing his own calculations, and all of their calculations were pointing towards an unknown planet which was yet to be discovered. And finally, near the location indicated by Le Verrier, John Gottfried Galle discovered that mystery planet. September 23, 1846 was the day when the centuries-old mystery of the last planet ended, and we found the 8th planet, Neptune. Now, one mystery had been solved, but many other questions still remained. In terms of diameter, this planet is the 4th largest in our solar system. Neptune is the 3rd heaviest and the densest of the gas those planets. If compared to our Earth, Neptune's mass is equal to 17 Earths. Neptune, which is just a little heavier than its neighbor Uranus, is an ice giant planet that is completely made up of gas, liquid, and ice. At this far end of the solar system, sunlight becomes very faint, and that's why the temperature here remains very low. Neptune can be seen. In fact, this planet was named after the god of the sea because of its blue color. But just knowing this much about Neptune was not enough. All we had about Neptune was the information we gathered here on Earth through calculations and observations. That's all we had. But something was happening in Neptune's atmosphere that was probably going to surprise scientists like us. And to get closer so that we could find out what exactly was happening in Neptune's atmosphere. In 1977, NASA's Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 had to set out from here. About 12 years later, in 1989, the Voyager spacecraft did a close flyby and we got to see the first clear image of Neptune. This was the first time we saw Neptune so clearly. After that, the Hubble Space Telescope also studied Neptune. But in Hubble's images, there was a lot of data, but scientists still wanted the clearest images. But the James Webb Space Telescope, which was launched in December 2021, completely changed our perspective. And here is this image of Neptune taken by JWST. About 30 years after Voyager, the Webb telescope completely changed the way we look at Neptune. In this image taken with the near-infrared camera, we don't see Neptune as blue, but rather as dark, and the surrounding objects also appear dark because of the methane gas. Methane gas absorbs infrared light, and that's why Neptune appears dark. There are clouds of methane gas and ice present. Besides, for the first time, we got to see Neptune's ring system in pictures, and that too so clearly. Although there had been many questions before about Neptune's ring system, whether Neptune really has any rings or not. This confusion remained among people for quite some time. Because Neptune is so far from us that its rings can't be seen in normal observations, but in this image from JWST, we can clearly see the rings. Neptune's rings are made of small dust particles and ice, which is why it's quite difficult to see them. The bright lines visible in the middle of the planet are a symbol of the terrible destruction happening on this planet. Yes, these are the fastest winds in the solar system blowing on Neptune. Storms are constantly forming here. Just imagine the terrifying emptiness of space, and on top of that, these storms on Neptune. Hardly anyone would dare to go here under such conditions. Do you think any space probe could survive on Neptune in such conditions? However, these winds are nothing by comparison. The biggest mystery of Neptune is this. Even if it's called one of the greatest mysteries of the solar system, it wouldn't be wrong. This is the Great Dark Spot. These mysterious dark spots were first observed by Voyager 2 in 1989. The dark spot present in Neptune's southern hemisphere looked just like Jupiter's Great Red Spot. But scientists were surprised at that time when they looked towards Neptune with the Hubble Space Telescope in 1994, that dark spot had disappeared. That means the entire mechanism of Neptune's dark spot was completely different from Jupiter's Great Red Spot. While the Great Red Spot has a long life, the dark spot's life is much shorter. After a short time, scientists was even more surprised to see that another dark spot had formed at a different place on Neptune, and it disappeared from around 1998 to 2000, and after that, many more dark spots were seen on this planet. Until 2021, these dark spots on Neptune were studied only with the Hubble Space Telescope, and we didn't have any clear view of these dark spots. Recently, in 2018, another mysterious dark spot was seen on Neptune. Scientists were amazed to see this dark spot on Neptune, which is as large in diameter as Earth's Atlantic Ocean, when this storm, which was moving from north to south, suddenly reversed and started heading north again. What is it about these storms that we are not able to understand? What exactly is going on? Was this the only thing we observed on Neptune, or do these anomalies keep happening on Neptune? The storm observed by Hubble was the largest storm ever seen on Neptune. After all, how do these storms form on Neptune? How do they suddenly disappear and then appear somewhere else? One thing is clear from this. Beneath Neptune's blue color, there are many mysteries hidden that will make us think. Will the James Webb Space Telescope be able to solve Neptune's mysteries, or will it be like the Cassini probe? We will have to send a similar mission to Neptune as well, so that we can go into Neptune's deep layers and see what is really happening in this unknown world. In this new image from James Webb, you can see a green light. It's really quite beautiful. But this light isn't a bright star or something very mysterious. In fact, it's Neptune's moon. Yes, Neptune's largest moon, Triton, and this moon is no less mysterious. In the image, we can see 7 moons near Neptune, but Triton is the one scientists are focusing on. It is believed that Triton is not actually Neptune's moon. In fact, it was not formed near Neptune. Rather, it is a Kuiper belt object that Neptune captured with its gravity, and Triton's extremely elliptical orbit is strong evidence of this. Many scientists also believe that there could be a possibility of life on Triton, just like there is on Jupiter's Europa and Saturn's Titan and Enceladus. So in this sense, this moon becomes even more special. It is possible that there is also a liquid ocean beneath the surface of this moon where life could be thriving beyond our sight. Anything is possible because nature has always amazed us humans. We are amazed once again when we imagine a mysterious planet that exists even farther than Neptune. A large and gigantic planet filled with darkness, playing hide and seek with us in this vast space. It's possible that we might hear some new information about this planet from the James Webb as well. But if you want us to cover this topic too, do let us know in the comments. By the way, there are many mysteries. Even today, we are still surrounded by questions about Neptune. Hopefully, with the James Webb, we will soon be able to discover something new and find better answers to our questions. The mysteries of our universe that, until now, have remained great secrets due to our limited capabilities. Some dark corners of our universe, places we might never be able to reach. All these things inspire us to explore this universe even more. But now we have 10 billion to greatly enhance our capabilities and give a new dimension to our reach. The greatest space telescope of the century, the James Webb Space Telescope, has surpassed all our expectations and gone far beyond. It is showing us views of the universe that we were unaware of until now, and in the future, it will try to take us back to the earliest moments of the universe. From the first stars to the distant alien exoplanets floating in deep space, from galaxies to the gigantic black holes at their centers, the James Webb Space Telescope will present this universe to us in a completely new light, where everything will be crystal clear before us. However, in today's video, we will look at those images from James Webb that, just by looking at them, it feels as if these images want to tell us something. Images that the Space Telescope has already captured. And what mysteries are hidden behind those images, we will find out in today's video. Whenever we hear the name of the ringed planet, only the image of Saturn comes to our mind, with its large rings all around it. But the truth is, these rings are not limited to Saturn alone. The largest planet in our solar system, Jupiter, also has rings, but those rings are so thin and small that we can't even see them. After Jupiter comes Saturn, whose orbit contains hundreds of rings that we can see. Saturn's rings are also made up of small rocks and ice particles, but these rings are quite dense and cover a very large area, which is why we can see them easily. Besides this, Uranus and Neptune also have rings, but because they are so far away, we can't even see these planets, let alone their rings. The 8th and last planet of our solar system represents the edge of our planetary system. Neptune is not only a gas giant but also an ice giant planet. Around this planet as well, that is, in its orbit too, there are small particles like Saturn which form the rings around Neptune. But these particles are extremely small. Scientists believe that these particles were formed due to an asteroid colliding with its moon, and that's why Neptune's rings are formed in the form of microscopic dust particles. When Neptune's rings were first observed in 1980, scientists thought that the orbit of these rings was incomplete, meaning that these rings had not formed properly. But later, this misconception was also cleared when Voyager 2 visited Neptune, and through its direct investigation, this new form of Neptune was revealed to us. And about 3 decades later, although there is really no comparison between the images from Voyager and James Webb, both are the best of their time according to the technology available then. So let's take a detailed look at this image taken by JWST. In this image, Neptune's rings are much more detailed and sharp than in any previous images. We can see Neptune and its rings so clearly like never before. But that's not all there is in this picture. Almost all of Neptune's moons, like Despina, Galatea, Larissa, Proteus, and Triton, as well as several other moons, can be seen very clearly in this picture. This planet, near the outer edges of the solar system, is about 3 billion miles from the Sun. This distance is about 30 times greater than the distance between our Earth and the Sun. The distance is so vast that from here, our Sun is barely even visible. Even during the day on Neptune, it's as dark as a typical moonlit night on Earth. This is what was captured by the James Webb Space Telescope. This image becomes extremely important for us. This ice giant appears completely blue to us because this planet has a large amount of methane, and this methane absorbs red light. And Neptune's iconic blue color is not entirely due to this methane. In fact, the largest part, about 80%, is made up of hydrogen, and the rest consists of helium and other gases. Methane is only about 1.5% on this planet. But even then, it is because of this that Neptune gets its unique identity. In this image, you can also see several bright spots. These spots are nothing else but clouds of methane. This shows that clouds do form on Neptune, but at the same time, these clouds keep circling around the entire planet with the winds. In the image, Neptune's largest moon, Triton, is also clearly visible because a lot of light is being reflected from Triton's surface, and we call such a phenomenon albedo. Scientists believe that the surface of Neptune's moon is formed due to the freezing of nitrogen. And that's why this moon's albedo is so high that it reflects back about 70% of the light that falls on its surface. It is said that Triton is one of the coldest places in our solar system, where the temperature remains around -391 degrees Fahrenheit. We are also very confused about the origin of Triton because we still don't fully know where Triton actually came from. Looking at Triton's orbit and orientation, scientists have reached this conclusion. It used to be a part of the present Kuiper belt, but later Neptune's gravity pulled Triton towards itself. Anyway, here we are just trying to make an accurate guess. And we make such guesses for so many things that are still beyond our understanding. Number 2, Tarantula Nebula. We all know that a nebula is a cloud of gas and dust spread over a vast area in space where stars are born. There is a nebula like this about 163,000 light years away from us, which is called the Tarantula Nebula. However, its scientific name is 30 Doradus. It is actually a part of the Large Magellanic Cloud, which is present near our galaxy, and it is believed that the most stars are born here. But in the local group, this nebula holds a unique place. Along with being the largest stellar nursery, it is also a bright emission nebula where we can see many new stars. If you look closely at this image, you can also spot several distant galaxies. With this image obtained from JWST, we can learn in great detail about the structure of this nebula and the particles of gas and dust present here. Scientists are still studying this image. In fact, some of the largest and hottest stars ever discovered are also found in this nebula. Apart from this, countless newly born stars are present everywhere here, and because of their presence, a huge cavity has formed in this nebula. There is neither any gas nor any dust particles there. This is because the newly born stars emit a lot of radiation. Because of this, all the dust particles present here have been displaced. But here, what was captured by James Webb? One special thing about this image is that we can see new stars in it, but these stars are actually hidden behind very dense dust clouds, which cannot be seen with any normal telescope, and that's where our James Webb Space Telescope helps us. Just think of it as being made for this very purpose, to uncover the hidden mysteries of this universe. Like these stars were hidden behind this dense wall of clouds, but for our telescope, penetrating this wall is quite easy, and that's why this telescope becomes extremely important for us. By studying this nebula, we will be able to experience that moment in the universe when the first star began to form after the Big Bang. What was it that triggered the process of star formation, and how does this entire process actually work? By studying this nebula, we can find answers to these questions. Here, you can catch a glimpse of that universe when our cosmos was just 4 billion years old. After all, we have been observing stars for thousands of years, but the mystery of the birth of these shining stars is still in the dark. But we hope that we will definitely be able to see that first light with our telescope. Friends, what do you think? Will James Webb be able to solve those mysteries that have been around for thousands of years? Be sure to share your opinion with us in the comment section. Would you like to know more about such images captured by JWST in detail? If yes, then do let us know in the comment section. We will continue this series. If you like this video, be sure to like it and share it with your friends. If you enjoyed the video, like it and share it with your friends. We'll be back with another new episode like this. Until then, goodbye for sure.